Mark chapter 7. Y'all ready? Let's do it. All right, Mark chapter 7, and it reads, Then came together unto him the Pharisees and certain of the scribes which came from Jerusalem. And when they saw some of his disciples eat bread with defiled, that is to say, with unwashed hands, they found fault. Right? For the Pharisees and all the Jews, except they wash their hands off, eat not, holding the tradition of their elders. Right? And we're kind of like that even today. You know what I'm saying? If you see somebody eating and they ain't washing their hands, you're like, oh man, I ain't eating that. Right? And when they come from the market, except they wash, they eat not. And many other things there be, which they have received to hold, as the washing of cups and pots, brazen vessels, and of tables. Then the Pharisees and scribes asked him, Why walk not thy disciples according to the tradition of the elders, but eat bread with unwashed hands? He answered and said unto them, Well have Isaiah prophesied of you, hypocrites, as it is written, This people honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. Howbeit in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. For laying aside the commandment of God, you hold the tradition of men as the washing of pots and cups, and many other such like things you do. And he said unto them, Full well you reject the commandment of God, that you may keep your own tradition. For Moses said, Honor thy father and thy mother, and whoso curseth father or mother, let him die the death. But you say, if a man shall say to his father or mother, It is Corban, that is to say, a gift by whatsoever thou mightest be profited by me, he shall be free. And you suffer him no more to do aught for his father or his mother, right? So he's saying, listen, y'all can keep traditions, but when it comes to the word of God, you don't keep it, right? Verse 13, making the word of God of none effect through your tradition, which you have delivered, and many such like things do you. And when he had called all the people unto him, he said unto them, Hearken unto me, every one of you, and understand. There is nothing from without a man that entering into him can defile him. But the things which come out of him, those are they that defile the man. If any man have ears to hear, let him hear. And when he was entered into the house from the people, his disciples asked him concerning the parable. And he said unto them, Are you so without understanding also? Do you not perceive that whatsoever thing from without entering into the man, it cannot defile him, because it entereth not into his heart, but into the belly, and goeth out into the draught, purging all meats. And he said, That which cometh out of the man, that defileth the man. For from within, out of the heart of men, proceed evil thoughts, adulteries, fornications, murders, thefts, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lasciviousness, an evil eye, blasphemy, pride, and foolishness, right? So you see, this is what he basically is saying, you know, all the stuff, you worry about people eating stuff and what they're eating and dietary laws and all this type of stuff. That stuff don't defile you. What defiles you is when you lie, when you cheat, when you steal, when you fornicate, when you murder, when you know what I'm saying, when you speak wickedness, when you deceive people, you know what I'm saying, when you are in pride and all this foolishness. That's what defiles you, right? Verse 23, all these evil things come from within and defile the man. And from thence he arose and went into the borders of Tyre and Sidon and entered into an house and would have no man know it, but he could not be hid. So you see, he had a hard time trying to get some rest and get away from people, right? For a certain woman whose young daughter had an unclean spirit heard of him and came and fell at his feet. The woman was a Greek, a Syrophoenician by nation, and she besought him that he would cast forth the devil out of her daughter. But Jesus said unto her, Let the children first be filled, for it is not meet to take the children's bread and to cast it into the dogs, right? And she answered and said unto him, Yes, Lord, yet the dogs under the table eat of the children's crumbs, right? And he said unto her, For this saying, go thy way, the devil is gone out of thy daughter. So you hear the faith that she had. In another gospel, they go into this where he's like, this is where, everybody brings up, what I'm saying? He said, you know what I mean? I didn't come for, but for the house of Israel, right? And it's not meet to take the children's bread and cast it to the dogs. But when you hear this account, he's like, let the children eat first, right? And then she was like, but the dogs under the table eat of the children's crumbs, right? And he was like, all right, you got faith. You know what I mean? Be it unto you as you believe. Verse 29, and he said unto her, For this saying, go thy way, the devil is gone out of thy daughter. And when she was come to her house, she found the devil gone out, and her daughter laid upon the bed. And again, departing from the coast of Tyre and Sidon, he came into the Sea of Galilee through the midst of the coast of Decapolis. And they bring unto him one that was deaf and had an impediment in his speech. And they beseech him to put his hand upon him. And he took him aside from the multitude and put his fingers into his ears, and he spit and touched his tongue. And looking up to heaven, he sighed and saith unto him, Ephphatha, and that is, be open. And straightway his ears were open, and the string of his tongue was loose, and he spake plain. And he charged them that they should tell no man. But the more he charged them, so much the more a great deal they published it, and were beyond measure astonished, saying, He hath done all things well. He maketh both the deaf to hear and the dumb to speak. All right. So now, when you read the miracles and you see the things that Christ was doing while he was on the earth, do you believe? That's the question. Because if you believe, then you believe in the power of the Most High Yah, right? He can make a deaf, you know what I'm saying, to hear. He can make the dumb to speak. You know what I'm saying? He can raise the dead and bring them back to life if he wants to. All things, are possible to him that believes. All right. That being said, the Most High bless each and every one of y'all. Shalom.